Okay, so now this is like 4.3 into 4.4. One day last winter, the temperature started at 3 degrees, negative 3 degrees, and dropped 12 degrees by the end of the day. What was the temperature at the end of the day? So very nice application of negative numbers, temperature. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll subtract. Minus 3 minus 12 would be negative 15 degrees. All right. Not too bad. All right, these are important ones. Do a couple of these. Actually, I don't want to get into the exponents too much. So let's just look at the first column. I need some people to get involved. Question for you. What's the first thing you would do in Part A? Good, parentheses. So can you do 2 minus 22? Negative 20. This becomes negative 20, parentheses, negative 20. All right, now we are multiplying two things together. So now we're throwing in multiplying and dividing integers. The same rule applies, right? A negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 20 times negative 20 will become positive. So the answer is 400. A negative over a negative is a positive. 48 divided by 4. There you go.
So it's the same rule for division?
Same rule for division, yes. Positive 12. All right, and then down here, the parentheses, 3 minus 12. Negative 9. So we have negative 9 squared. This becomes another key point that I have to mention, okay? Remember that a square is like multiplying the number twice. So say 3 squared is 3 times 3. All right? That means that I'm going to have a negative here, and I'm going to write it as negative 9 times negative 9. Yikes. But still the same rule applies, right? Like, ignore the negative. So, ignore the negative. Negative, what's in the parentheses? Negative 9 is? 81. Positive 81. So now, the negative in the red turns it back to negative. So this thing will end up being negative 81. use parentheses. Pink, red, and purple. Hey, you guys are all in the Valentine's Day mood, I know it. So plug in numbers. All right. We started talking about how it's turning into letters, but it's really no problem because I will write this as 2 parentheses negative 4. Now, absolute value 4 parentheses negative 2, that's what the x is, minus parentheses 8. Okay, remember that I'm trying to give you the harder questions. Yeah, I'm definitely giving you the harder questions, right? So that when you do the homework, it's not so bad.
So that would become 4x plus.
Yeah, no x is necessary, though, because they're telling me x is negative 2. So instead of writing x, I write negative 2.
Where did the negative 4 come from?
Here, that's the z.
Oh, z was
Yeah.
So you got rid of the z.
I got rid of the z.
Okay.
I got rid of the x. And I got rid of the y. Because they told me in the problem what they are.
Then all those numbers in that become, right?
Yes, but do the multiplication first. So do 4 times negative 2 and then minus. You have to keep the order.
8 minus 8.
Can I do 2 things at a time? Well, that maybe, I don't know if that'll confuse people or not, but I'll do like 2 times negative 4 and write that as negative 8. Absolute value. Now I'm going to do 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 minus 8 is negative 16. So like I'm kind of writing less steps
Where are you getting that 16 from?
because I'm doing,
So you're doing 4 times negative 2,
this is negative 8
negative 8.
minus 8.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay? So that now it becomes negative 8.
So if a number is next to the little lines, it becomes multiplication?
If it's next to the parentheses, yeah. Next to the parentheses and next to the line. Yeah. Would be negative 128. Yeah. Let's do 2x absolute value of y minus x. How about that? Another one that would be like kind of medium to difficult. -3, 2.
Did I do this right?
All right, keep thinking about it. I did not. Because you notice how x is -3? Use parentheses when you plug it in. Yeah. When you plug things in, use parentheses. Just like that.
Well, that I can understand, but if that's in there already, I just know I copied you when you heard that, but why can't you leave it open? If it's already in those.
Okay, you could, but you have to write 2 negatives,
Yeah, that would
which is what you did.
-3.
She didn't do that.
Oh.
That's my point.
Where did the negative come from?
Here,
Oh, I got it.
the x, it came from the x, okay?
Okay, okay. I get it.
So, wait,
Okay, so look here. I think I got it.
All right, now, I'm going to do 2 times -3 is -6. Inside the absolute value, I have 2 minus -3. Because when you plug in the x, you get 2 negatives there. So 2 minus a negative, hey, we love these rules, becomes absolute value of +5. Now, it doesn't change because it's already positive. So just make it -6 times 5. Hopefully you came up with -30.
Do you give another one like that again? Another one.
Where? It's always multiplication when the number is next to the...
Like the 2x.
Yes, that's right. It's always multiplication. Another silly thing about mathematical gibberish, like they assume that that's like 2 times x, but they don't write the dot. Like in the first chapter, you had to write the dot, but you don't have to now.
Another example.
One more.
Yes. Another exciting.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Easier? Just as type the... All right, let me think.
Oh, I bet you meant has it gotten easier as we go. W.
Okay, there you go. Look at that. W times y. Absolute value of 3 minus w. correct. This is two negatives, so make that plus. And this is going to be two negatives. It's going to be 3 minus negative 4. Good.
So would it be
You took something that's addition and subtraction and made it multiplication. This should be 3 plus 4, not 3 times 4.
Wait, I get confused with the minus negative 4 part.
Okay.
It's not negative 1.
No, because the rule is two negatives is a positive. Yes, yes it is.
Oh, so it's positive 7.
All right, there you go. Hopefully you came up with 84.
I just, if you're putting it in the brackets, like why would it be multiplied? Like in the parentheses?
That's what confused me before.
Uh,
Because isn't like parentheses mean multiplication?
yes, but right here, right? The 3 minus parentheses negative 4. That's different from, say, there's a difference between this and this. Right? This is addition and subtraction. This is multiplication.
So basically the parentheses in the second one are just there to like take like
Placeholder. Yeah.
okay.
Yep. It's just good practice because you don't want to, you want to use parentheses with the negative 4. Like you don't want to not do that because you'll end up just subtracting, which is not. Oh, all right, we're almost there. Hang in there. About 5-6 minutes. 4.5 now. The difference between an expression and an equation is the equal sign. I'm just making that problem up. 4x minus 2 equals 10 is an equation. 4x minus 2 is an expression. That's all. You can solve for x in the equation, but you cannot solve for x in the expression. All right, don't worry about that just yet. We haven't gotten to the equation part. A coefficient is the number that comes before the variable. So the coefficients. The coefficient of 8x, leave the x alone, just write the 8. The coefficient of b, negative 2y, would be? Include the negative. The coefficient of 8z to the second power. Now it's an exponent. We don't really care because it's negative 8.
So the letters of the variable?
Letters are variables, yes. Exactly right. What is the coefficient of the term 8x squared and of the term negative 3y squared? Eight and negative 3. Sure. Include the sign. Positive 8, negative 3, coefficients. A variable is a letter.
You also teach the class after this class?
They haven't assigned it to me, no. So I've been doing this for a couple semesters. Last one, okay? We kind of saw this before, right? 16 less than a number.
So x minus 16?
Right. Notice that the x comes first.
I love the passion when you say that.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah. Okay. Stop right there.